Officially, it was reported to the World Health Organization on December 31, 2019. On January 30, 2020, the World Health Organization declared the COVID-19 outbreak a global health emergency. The novel coronavirus SARS-CoV-2 that causes COVID-19 first emerged in the Chinese city of Wuhan in 2019 was declared a pandemic by the World Health Organization, and December 2020 the US launched a national vaccination campaign. Coronavirus disease COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. Most people infected with the virus will experience mild to moderate respiratory illness and recover without requiring special treatment. However, some will become seriously ill and require medical attention. Older people and those with underlying medical conditions like cardiovascular disease, diabetes, or cancer are more likely to develop serious illness. Anyone can get sick with COVID-19 and become seriously ill or die at any age. The novel coronavirus COVID-19 is responsible for more fatalities than the SARS coronavirus. Despite being in the initial stage of global pandemic, the first suspected case in Philippines was investigated on January 22, 2020, and 633 suspected cases were reported as of March 1, 2020. The best way to prevent and slow down transmission is to be well informed about the disease and how the virus spreads. Protect yourself and others from infection of staying at least 1 meter apart from others. Wearing a properly fitted mask and washing your hands or using an alcohol-based rub frequently. Get vaccinated when it's your turn and follow local guidance. COVID-19 all-time cases and deaths. In our country, Philippines, 4.5 million cases, 64,820 deaths. The quantum virus infects the body, overloading the brain, destroying several important areas, causing the patient to regress to an almost purely instinctual and irrational state, in addition to a gigantic need for human flesh. Despite the damage that virus does to the mind, the zombies produced from the virus can still retain knowledge and skills which they had prior to being infected. The quantum virus is a powerful virus, being able to transmit rapidly. It primarily spread through saliva, meaning if those infected can bite through flesh, the virus can spread easily. Even extraterrestrials are not immune to the virus. Quantum virus is a sort of disease of space-time. You see, it slowly breaks down the force that holds subatomic particles together. It slowly disintegrates whatever it affects living creatures affected with a quantum virus find their very molecules breaking down. It can take days, weeks of agencies. Discovery of a U.S. Army physician named Walter Reed discovered the first human virus in 1901. A meaning of agent that causes infectious disease of first recorded in 1728, long before the discovery of viruses by Dmitry Ivan Novisky in 1892. D.J. Ivan Novisky, 1892, gave the name virus. It means venom or poisonous fluid. Viruses might not be alive, but they may be altering life on a global scale. Researchers have found that a bizarre group of microbes known as giant viruses contain genes associated with metabolism, which they likely use to convert their zombified host into supercharged energy factories. Last month, scientists announced they'd taken a sample of tundra from Siberia, extracted a virus that had been frozen for 50,000 years, and showed it was still capable of infecting its normal host amoebas. It was not only a virus new to scientists but also a member of an intriguing group of giant viruses. How did virus came to Earth? Viruses may have arisen from mobile genetic elements that gain the ability to move between cells. They may be descendants of previously free-living organisms that adopted a parasitic replication strategy. Perhaps viruses existed before and led to the evolution of cellular life. These are also large that, unlike other viruses, they can be seen under a microscope. And this one, measuring 1.5 micrometers in length, is the biggest that has ever been found. The virus was discovered buried 30 meters, 100 feet below the surface of a late Pleistocene sediment. It belongs to a class of giant viruses that were discovered 10 years ago. Phytovirus has a cork with a honeycomb structure capping its opening. See electron microscope image. It copies itself by building replication factories in its host cytoplasm, rather than by taking over the nucleus as most viruses do. Only 1/3 of its protein bear a similarity to other viruses. Phytovirus, first described in a 2014 paper, is a genus of giant virus known from 2 species. Phytovirus severicum, which infect amoebas, and Phytovirus macillensis. It is a double-stranded DNA virus and is a member of the nucleocystoplasmic large DNA viruses clade. European researchers examined ancient samples collected from permafrost in Siberian region of Russia. They revived and characterized 13 new pathogens, what they term zombie viruses, and found that they remain infectious despite spending many millennia trapped in the frozen ground, according to a Bloomberg's report. Climate change due to global is rapidly thawing the ancient permafrost, which may pose a new threat to humans. According to researchers who revived nearly 24 viruses, including one frozen under a lake more than 48,500 years ago. Pandura virus. Pandura virus is a genus of giant virus first discovered in 2013. It is the second largest in physical size of any known viral genus. Pandura virus had double-stranded DNA genomes, with the largest genome size of any known viral genus. Mimivirus is a genus of giant viruses in the family Mimiviridae. It is the largest virus in Earth giant viruses had known for a few years. Amoeba serve as their natural host. This genus contains a single identified species named Acanthamoeba polypaga mimivirus. It also refers to a group of phylogenetically related large viruses. We report a case of pulmonary infection related to mimivirus in a 10-year-old boy with primary ciliary dyskinesia that was identified using molecular techniques. Our findings indicate that the lineage C of virus may cause pneumonia in humans. According to the undead 18th century by Linda Trost, zombies appeared in literature as far back as 1697 and were described as spirits or ghosts, not cannibalistic fiends. They arrived on the film scene around the same time for their monster peers Frankenstein and Dracula, with a 1932 release of White Zombie. When did the zombies start? The myth of the zombie originated in Haiti in the 17th century and 18th century when African slaves were brought into work on sugar plantation. Under the rule of France, the slaves believed that if they ended their own lives by suicide, they would be condemned to spend eternity trapped in their own bodies as the undead. As Chery studies ancient frozen viruses that come to life after being dormant, years can threaten public health. Scientists say that all zombie viruses can potentially cause infection in people, which can be a huge threat to human beings. He also mentioned that these microorganisms may cause hazardous diseases and living things. Along with zombies virus, scientists have also discovered Siberian wolf intestine and mammoth wool beneath the permafrost. A zombie is a malicious program that is installed on a device that transforms it into a zombie that attack other systems. A computer or other device transformed by zombie malware is first infected by a virus or Trojan. New virus revive after 50,000 years. What to know about the zombie virus? Scientists revive 48,500-year-old zombie virus from Siberian permafrost. Half of UK's Christmas turkeys lost to the bird flu outbreak. French biologist discovery virus of frozen Siberian frost. Responsibilities of biologists: develop and conduct research on the relationship of organisms in specific environments. Study characteristics of animals such as their species, interaction, disease and movement patterns. Analyze the effect of human activity on ecosystem. Why should I become a biologist? If you like to solve problems or build things, you have the creativity to be a biologist. If you're a hard worker or you like to learn, you have dedication to be a biologist, because biologists study living things. It's easy to find a field site anywhere around. Types of biologists: forensic biologist, microbiologist, marine biologist, wildlife biologist, ecologist, biological engineer, biostatisticians. Biologist: a clinical biologist is a health professional such as a doctor of medicine, pharmacist, chemist, or biologist that is specialized in clinical biology, a medical specialty derived from clinical pathology.